France have been to the last 2 World Cup finals. They won one, lost another one on penalties. They have arguably the deepest squad of any nation on the planet. They have the reigning Ballon d'Or winner. They have a player in Mbappe who's proven he can score over a goal a game. They're ranked number 1 in the world by FIFA, and they're going into this tournament by a lot of the bookies as the second favorite to win it, only behind Spain. And even being second favorite to some people is a bit disrespectful to France. And regardless of where you sit on France, on paper, France are one of the scariest teams in the tournament. And if everything clicks, they might just go on and win the whole thing. But what exactly makes them so good? Where do I have some reservations about them? And can they actually go on and win the whole thing? Well, that's exactly what we'll be talking about today. So what's going on, everyone? You are listening to Back of the Net here. I hope you're all doing well. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe if you guys haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, the manager Didier Deschamps, this is his last rodeo with this French team. He's already said he will step down after this tournament, and let me just give you a second to appreciate what this man has done. He lifted the World Cup as a player and captain in 1998. He then came back as a manager and lifted it again in 2018. He obviously got to the finals in 2022 where they lost on penalties. Has he been controversial? 100%. Critics have gone after him for years for being too defensive, too boring, and not getting enough out of the attacking talent at times. But love him or hate him, this man wins things. And France are in Group I for this tournament. They've got Senegal first, which is quite a difficult game, I actually think. Then they have Iraq in June 22nd, and they close off the group with Norway and Erling Haaland on June 26th. Senegal and Norway are both going to be quite a big test. I think Senegal more than Norway, but France should have enough quality to get through this group quite comfortably. I mean, their road to the World Cup was pretty smooth actually. They won UEFA qualifying Group D alongside Ukraine, Iceland, and Azerbaijan, and they pretty much just got on with business. 5 wins, 1 draw, 0 losses, 16 goals scored, only 4 conceded. They won the group comfortably. The only blip was that 2-2 draw away in Iceland in October. And look, it's worth mentioning that France were missing both Mbappe and Dembele for that game through injury. They should have held on, but they let Iceland equalize right after taking the lead, and it was a frustrating night, but that does happen, especially in international football. But then after that, they bounced back, beat Ukraine 4-0 in Paris the next month. I mean, Mbappe scored twice. Look, if you take a look at this squad, because honestly, it gets a bit ridiculous. In goal, Mike Maignan from AC Milan. He's genuinely one of the best goalkeepers in Italy. Great shot stopper, commanding in the box, good with his feet. He's not a weak link for this French team. We've seen him in better form previously, but I still think he's one of the top goalkeepers in Europe for sure. They also have Robin Rissier, who's uncapped, but he just came with hope in Lens finish 2nd in Ligue 1 and win the French Cup. So goalkeeping wise, they're sorted. Centre-back wise, even better off. I mean, you've got arguably the best centre-back in the world in William Saliba. Dayoud Upamecano from Bayern, who's done really good. They've got Ibrahima Konate, who's just left Liverpool and looks like he'll be joining Real Madrid. Centre-back wise, they are good. Jules Koundé, who's played a right back now for Barcelona and is genuinely close to that world-class level. And on the left, done really well in an Aston Villa team that's been pretty slept on. And then in midfield, you have Ariane Tchouameni from Real Madrid, who I think, although Real Madrid's had a poor season, I think Tchouameni's probably been one of the brightest sparks for them. You got Warren Zaire-Emery from PSG, who at just 20 years old is already a huge player for France. N'Golo Kante, who is somehow still going strong at Fenerbahce, got selected. Adrien Rabiot at Milan, who did well. Manu Kone from Roma, who's actually been a breakout star this season. And then the attack. And the attack is where the money's made for this French team. Kylian Mbappe, Ousmane Dembele, Olise, Barcola, Doué, Thuram, Cherki, Philippe Mateta, who is so slept on as a Crystal Palace forward. This is an embarrassment of riches, this squad, especially offensively. France could genuinely put out probably 2 completely different starting lineups, and both of them would be genuine contenders to go and win this tournament. And if you just take a look at their star players, it's ridiculous. Kylian Mbappe, the main man, the one everyone's got an eye on, the second France kick off. Mbappe is now 27 years old. He's coming off one of the best individual seasons of his career, despite Real Madrid having a bit of an inconsistent campaign as a team, to say the least. He could potentially end this World Cup as the World Cup's all-time top goal scorer. It's his 3rd World Cup. Scored a hat-trick in the final of the last. Won the World Cup before that. He is arguably one of the best World Cup players of all time, and he is going to definitely be out here leading the line as captain of France. But then you keep looking at this team. Ousmane Dembele. If Mbappe is not the main man, then it has to be Ousmane Dembele. Reigning Ballon d'Or winner, back-to-back Champions League winner, Champions League player of the season, joint top goal scorer in Ligue 1 with 21 goals, finishing his Champions League campaign off with 8 goals and 2 assists in 13 games. He's an immediate focus. If he is at his best with Kylian Mbappe, both of them at their best in this World Cup, France's attack is basically unstoppable by just those 2 players alone. But we're not done yet. Michael Olise, and this one, I want to give a proper minute to, because Michael Olise is entering the tournament in the form of his life. And I think this World Cup could be the moment he jumps from one of those really good players to a full-blown superstar. Olise is only 24 years old and plays for Bayern Munich, and this Bundesliga season, absolutely phenomenal. 15 goals and 19 assists in the Bundesliga. He was named Bundesliga Player of the Season, becoming the first player since 2019 to put up at least 15 goals and 15 assists in a single Bundesliga campaign. Bayern also knocked out Real Madrid of the Champions League in the quarterfinals, with Olise playing a massive role in that. But outside of their attack, their team is still so little and so strong. Manu Kone, a lot of you might not know him, but he's a really talented player. This is a player who left France at 19, made a name for himself in Germany with Mönchengladbach, and now he's gone to Roma in 2024, and since then, I think he's been superb. He just keeps getting better and better. He's kind of a box-to-box midfielder with extraordinary energy. He's everywhere on the pitch. He wins the ball, drives forward, has a real nose for where the game is going, and that's the kind of player whose influence is bigger than what the stats suggest. Plus, again, still quality in this team. Now look, there is some things I want to quickly flag here that could potentially weigh down France, and this is probably why they're not the absolute bookies' favorites. The first thing is the fullback situation. Relatively speaking, this is France's soft underbelly, if you will. Koundé is excellent at right back, but the depth there isn't great. And on the left, Theo Hernandez has been out of form and is reportedly dealing with some off-field stuff. That wide area is where smart opponents are going to be testing France's defense. Obviously, in the box, they're going to be unstoppable. They're going to be very hard to break down the center. But I think out wide, if I was to game plan against France, that's where I'm kind of looking. And another thing that potentially is even bigger than that is the ego management Deschamps going to have to do here. This is always the conversation with France. You got so much star power in one dressing room. You've got players who are used to being the main man at their clubs. Mbappe at Madrid, Dembele at PSG, Olise at Bayern. Keeping everyone focused tight in a quarterfinal or semi-final, or maybe they have a shock. Although he's done it before, doesn't make it any easier. Look, France are one of 2 or 3 teams that when the tournament is done, people will go back and say, yeah, obviously one of them was going to win it. They have everything. The best attacking units in the world, I would say, a genuinely solid back four, a very strong goalkeeper, tournament pedigree, and a manager who has one last chance to add to a truly remarkable legacy. The question with France is never really, are they good enough? Because that's out of the question. But the question is always, are they going to put it all together at the right moment? Because the talent has always been there. It wasn't there in 2002. It was there in 2010. Sometimes it clicks, sometimes it doesn't. But this squad right now in this moment, I think that they are going to click. I think this is France's year to potentially go all the way. But let me know what you guys think about France's potential in the comments below. Do you think they can win the World Cup, or do you foresee them having a bit of a tough time with all the egos that they do have in the squad? Let me know in the comments below. Please be sure to smash the like button, subscribe if you guys haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.